I'm sleeping in my bed and it's bloody freezing. There's no central heating. I've walked into this room. I've got 4 quilts, and I touched the the cushion and everything. It's like ice, just like ice. So I'm gonna have to put my hands in soon because they're gonna freeze. God knows what the temperature is inside here. See you guys. I've got a hot water bottle, and I had to decide where do I put it on my back. Sorry. I've got a hot water bottle. I had to decide where am I going to put it. And I decided the most important body part, I think, is my back, my lower back. Then I'm going to move it to my feet because they're like ice. I've got thermals on and it's still freezing. It's so cold. That's the problem when you live in the countryside. You live in a big house and you need to spend loads of money heating the house. Otherwise, you're going to freeze because you're exposed to the elements. You don't have any of those double glazing and stuff like that we used to have in London. And you're not kind of insulated from the elements by having, if you live in a terraced house, for example, you've got one house on each side buffering you from the elements. But like this place that I live in the countryside, and we can't afford to heat up the house. It is really cold. I feel sorry for those pensioners, you know, that Starmer has hit with, I think, what is it? Is he withheld winter fuel payments or something like that? That's not good. You know, I'm 57. I'm still strongish. Those people, those pensioners, maybe in their 80s or something, some are still strong, you know, strong people, you know. I mean, my dad in his 80s, he was still strong. Couldn't mess around with him. But those people are, as they used to say, old school. The people in their 80s now, yeah, they're still old school, aren't they? We become progressively like more and more softer each generation because it's so used to, it's not used to really the hardships of the previous generation. So here's a video of me just before I go to sleep. Freezing. The good thing about the dogs is that Betty's on the bed, and the dogs are like a hot water bottle. They can keep you warm, especially if I get to sit or lie down where my feet are. She can heat my feet up. Get 2 or 3 German Shepherds on your bed. Yeah, oh, it's dirty. Yeah, I know it's dirty, but you don't really care if you don't want to die of a hypothermia. You know, you want to just be warm. I should get one of those electric heaters that heats up the room. But this room is huge. Well, not huge, but it's not a tiny room. And it costs money to heat up. I suppose a lot of those pensioners will be living in maybe terraced accommodation, terraced houses. And so if their neighbours on either side have got their heating on, maybe they make do with a hot water bottle or an electric blanket. That's what I need to get, an electric blanket. All right. Have a nice, if you're in a warm bed, don't take, my nose is freezing, my fingers and my feet are freezing. Don't take it for granted that you live in a nice hot bedroom. I mean, if it's too hot, you can't sleep, but if it's too cold, you can't sleep. Don't take it for granted that you live in a nice warm country. It's not nice being cold. People say, I love the snow. I don't know, my hands are just like icicles. If I go outside after, I don't know, after about, if it's really like 0 degrees or, I don't know, 5 degrees or something, and I go outside, after about 5 or 10 minutes, I feel as if my fingers are going to break off. They become like ice. So I think, you know, my genes are from the Mediterranean. I need some heat. So my genes must be Spanish or that area of the Mediterranean. God knows what I was before that. I should do those, was it 23andMe tests to see what your genetic background is. Well, it's going to be Iberian, I think. Iberian, and I wonder if I'm black or Ashkenazi Jew. No, maybe not. You'll never know. I have to find out. I wonder if I'm partly English, Scottish or something. That'll be weird. Or Arab. Or Chinese or Japanese. I don't think so. But yeah, have you guys ever thought of doing a DNA test? It must be interesting to see like where you come from. I suppose it doesn't really matter, does it? Sometimes I wish I never found out that I was adopted, Because I grew up thinking, yeah, I'm Italian. I'm from Sicily. My parents are from Sicily. And so I'm Sicilian, right? Until I found out I was adopted and my mum is from Chile and my dad from Spain. Still kind of Latin, but I don't know anything about those countries, Spain or Chile. And no, I don't really feel like finding out what they eat or whatever. Well, I might be interested one day, but not at the moment. Spanish people are different to Italians. They're more fiery. My back's getting warm now with a hot water bottle. So I'm going to transfer that hot water bottle to my feet. That reminds me of a kid. As a kid, when you put your freezing cold feet on a hot water bottle without a cover, and you have to keep changing because it's so hot, changing position. Ah, it's nice. And the smell of that bloody plastic or rubber, whatever it is, of a hot water bottle. They're lifesavers. My feet now. My feet are so cold that I put my feet on the hot water bottle. I still can't feel any change. I think it's going to take ages before they start to warm up. They're that cold. I don't know what the future brings. I hope good stuff for me and for you as well. I don't know. I think maybe the weather's getting me down. Grey. I haven't seen the sun in ages. It seems like ages, but it's been maybe a week. Grey every day. Stress at home. Tantrums. Keep switching diet. Smelling the house because of the dogs. I take them out in the morning. It's raining, wet everywhere. So obviously when they come back in, they muddy the carpet. Carpet's bad enough as it is. I'm not going to complain anymore. I'm lucky or happy to be alive. And if I'm freezing, if I'm complaining, it means that's a good thing because I'm alive and I've got problems. And it's good to have problems because it means you're alive, right? You're still above ground. Yeah, there was once a guy who was complaining that he's got loads of problems. So this other guy said to him, I know a place where people have got no problems at all. About 10,000 people live in this place. He said, really? Or 10,000 people are in this place. He said, really? I want to go there. And he said, okay. So he took him to the cemetery. He said, here you got 10,000 people. Not one of them have got a problem. They couldn't care less of the problems of the world. And the guy, realized that, you have problems because you're alive. And that's a good thing. You got pain because you're alive. If you weren't around, you wouldn't have any pain. You wouldn't have any problems. You wouldn't exist. I think it's Buddha who said something like, life is suffering. The word suffering, I think, is dukkha. Something like D-U-K-A or D-U-K-K-A or D-U-H-K-A. The Taoists would see things differently. I'm sure the Taoists wouldn't see that life as suffering. In fact, I think, there's some Buddhist practices where they look at a dead corpse, so they look at a coffin or whatever, and they look at death directly. And that's maybe how you learn to deal with life or make the most of life. I think the Taoists are very different, or from what I've read. They don't focus on death at all. They focus on life, on nature, on life, on living. The opposite. Instead of looking at death, they look at life. I'd rather look at life instead of looking at death. So I'm more of a Taoist than a Buddhist. I wonder if there are Christian Buddhists. Sorry, Christian Taoists. If not, I'll be the first one. All right. Speak to you guys another day. And hopefully I can fall asleep soon. I'll watch a program, watch Man About the House, and then slowly nod off. I'm feeling a bit tired now. I think I'll fall asleep soon. All right. See you guys another day. Bye. Good night.